let's go ahead now and go to the phone calls. See the full video unedited. The only editing in there is cutting out the cuss words. And there's no way to do it in a crowd like that. I mean, you can cut the clear ones out, but obviously back in the background, there's a cacophony of stuff coming out. But let's go to Jason and Ferguson and Steve, Mac, Dave, James, and others. Okay, you disagree on some points. Go ahead, Jason.
Yes. First and foremost, I want to say that I have mad respect for Jakari. I always looked up to him. Glad you got him on your crew. But, I mean, I've lived in Ferguson for a while. I mean, I briefly just moved out before everything started happening. But, man, I've been harassed by Ferguson. I mean, they've towed my car. They've broken my windows. I went to protest at the courthouse, and I've gotten followed by intimidated by police. I mean, the reality here, Alex, the reason why people are so now. First and foremost, I do not condone any type of violence. No. And I'm in an interrelationship marriage right now, so it's pretty hard right now living here dealing with this because, I mean, we have to look at both sides. But the reality is the reason why you see this is there is predatory police. They have no respect. Not all of them, because I've been helped by Ferguson police as well when my girlfriend was pregnant at the time and I was rushing to the hospital. One guy pulled me over, but he escorted me to the hospital. But just for every good, there's like 10 times more bad things.
Sure, but you're missing what I'm saying. Obviously, if the town's 70% black and there's, what, 3 police officers out of 50-something that are black, I mean, it should be at least half the folks should be black. The problem is they have trouble recruiting, and the police departments admit that. Is there problems? Are the police being trained to be paramilitary? Did they shoot Joe Biggs with rubber bullets for no reason? Absolutely. And so what we're getting at here is there's obviously something wrong in Ferguson. But then you can't give cover, I'm not saying you're doing this, but those demonstrating, to people shooting at the fire department because there might be some profiling and harassment going on. And yes, do they take, because there's thug life stuff going on by a minority of people in the black community, do they then project that onto all black people? Absolutely. But I mean, I watch behavior. And if a black guy or a white guy is dressed nice, they get left alone by police. The few times I've been raggedy when I was younger and doing something, I've had the police pull over and harass me. And it makes you really mad. So I think even more than just driving while black, I think driving while poor. I think, I mean, let me tell you, kids like to dress hip-hop. The police are trained, that means gang-related. So that's why MTV has this hip-hop to prison pipeline, is to get everybody in the uniform that the police, like attack dogs, have been trained to attack. So what I'm saying is rise above it, see the larger PSYOP. Now the PSYOP is winning, training us all to fight with each other. This is a big victory for the globalists, the Democratic Party and others that are helping stir up demonstrations nationwide that are not going to make these communities better. They are going to create more division, in my humble opinion. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to say this. Foremost, you know, like I said, I am not a racist. I love all my people, period. But I'm telling you, because of the issues of poor, not even, you're absolutely right, not a race thing, but driving while poor, period. Being poor, period. You get these tickets you can't afford to pay for. You got to get admissions to your car. You can't afford to pay. You're constantly getting broke from the system.
No, I know.
And when you are broke like this, I'm warning all. Thank God I got on the air, but I'm going to warn all you law-abiding citizens. You think that you're safe. You're not. These people, like me, I haven't did anything wrong. We're frustrated. We're tired. There is no outlet. There is nowhere to turn. And when you don't have any place to turn, where do you turn? You turn to the streets. You turn to your people. You turn to the people.
No, I hear you. But listen, burning down, who do you think burned down Mike Brown's church? Why attack a Mexican food restaurant? I mean, what does attacking a lady at the pizza place do?
Nothing but hurt the cause. Absolutely. I'm not making excuses for these people, period. There is no excuse.
I know. So and I'm saying the cops should have helped the firefighters, and they should have stopped people shooting first and foremost and then protected the demonstrators. I mean, listen, both sides are being manipulated. It's a total psyop. And, you know, I'm sorry to hear what happened to you in Ferguson. We should get your name and number, maybe have you on the Nightly News for 5 minutes and get some other folks on to tell their experiences in Ferguson at the hands of the police. I appreciate your call. Listen, I grew up in Rockwall, Texas, where later the police and the sheriff got busted dealing drugs, just like I said they were. And they would pull us over and harass us and, you know, pull up at a bonfire and find somebody with a six-pack of beer and arrest them. And then we knew the cops were drug dealers. But we didn't do drugs, so they were drug dealers, you know, part of the time, but then also out writing tickets. And we're like, hey, you deal drugs. You can't write me a ticket. I get it. Corrupt police departments are a problem. But just running around making it a black-white thing is exactly what the system wants. I mean, it's so obvious. Look, I told you in July they're training for this and preparing and did emergency alerts. That's the point, is that Brown isn't the poster person, the poster child for this. They want an us against them mentality. They want the police seeing us all as the enemy so that they can turn them into an army against us. I don't want to play into the Civil War psyop. Dave in Oregon disagrees. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a couple points. First thing I'd like to say is First Amendment is gone. I recently got fired from a job, and my boss was the Oregon Republican State Representative, Dallas Hurd. Told me I didn't have free speech when I was running my mouth. And all I did is try to wake him up to the fact of the New World Order. Fired the very next day.
Oh, yeah. You know, how dare you have free speech? How dare you tell your boss and warn him about something they don't want to hear because they know the stuff's going on. And they want to go along with the party line, and they're going to end up losing everything in the Republican Party if they continue to sell out with the globalist.
Yeah, fired me just for merely mentioning the New World Order. And I've been listening to you for a while. You woke us up to the fact that 9/11 is an inside job. Agenda 21 wants us dead. The Bohemian Grove exists. Bilderberg Group, all this stuff. But yet, but don't do anything. That's how I feel from you lately. You just don't do anything. You just sit there and let them kill us. It's self-defense. You talk about self-defense. What do you think's happening right now? I think it should lead to more.
But not pizza places or Mexican food restaurants?
Well, no. I think they should seriously turn their anger on to the ones that are causing this.
You know, let me tell you what really scared them. 7, 8 years ago, right before Obama got elected, the Tea Party was a Ron Paul libertarian movement, mad that he'd lost. My listeners, on record, Ron Paul said that on air, they went out and were confronting Republicans and Democrats and saying we're sick of it all. So the Republicans came in to try to co-opt it. They weren't successful overall. Then the media started calling it racist and all this to try to keep Democrats from joining it. Okay? And they use race again to divide things. That's what they're scared of. Can you imagine mobs going whenever a congressman comes to town to speak at a grocery store or speak at a church? Can you imagine going and demonstrating at their houses? Can you imagine getting aggressive, filing lawsuits? I mean, there's ways to really get them. The globalists advertise burning your own neighborhood down because it makes you look really stupid. And it makes businesses not move into your area. It is a way to impoverish you. It's a way to destroy you. They created the Great Society because blacks had more successful business districts than most white areas because blacks only shop with other blacks. They were smart. That's not how it works now. Now they burn out anybody that's in the area, including blacks, because if anybody's got a job, they're a sellout. I appreciate your call, sir. Just like that thug went up to Jakari and said, how dare you be a sellout for Alex Jones? I don't sit around and tell Jakari what to say or do. He's a smart guy, loves freedom, kind of a libertarian, constitutionalist. Well-spoken, works hard. I mean, he's got a good job because he's a good guy. He's got talent. Why shouldn't he be part of an organization? Should he just flip hamburgers? He was looking to go into criminal justice. Maybe he should be a jail guard, you know, or he'll be a black guy behind the bars. I mean, think about that. Jakari isn't supposed to have a job. He doesn't have courage going out there and getting shot at and beat up and attacked. No, he does have courage. You just got some little thug nobody who just wants to complain about everything all day and threaten people. And is mad if anybody else is successful. That's socialism. Let's go ahead and talk to Mac in South Carolina. You're on the... Oh, no. He's not up next. I'm sorry. We'll go to Mac in a minute. James in Missouri disagrees on coverage. He's listening on 102.9 FM, KCXL, one of our oldest affiliates on AM. They also have FM the last few years. So 102.9 FM, KCXL, covering Kansas City. Great affiliate. We've been on there about 14 years. Great folks. James, thanks for calling in. What do you disagree with?
Well, first, I just want to say I've been listening for about 10 years on this station, and I'm against people shooting at fire department. And I'm a peace and love type guy. I'm a big supporter of InfoWars and everything you do. I'm just saying, where is the coverage? Like, you said that you're mad, and everybody's mad that the police didn't protect. But where is the people, the 2 million people of the surrounding St. Louis County area with some cojones down there with Kevlar and weapons protecting them? I mean, the public needs to organize. Where's the organization at?
That's my angle. Listen, if I owned a Papa John's, I'm not boarding Jack's squad up. I'm going in there with a shotgun. People walk up to burn it down or whatever. I'm going to walk out. I'm going to say, listen, you start trying to burn things down, I'm going to defend myself. You got 5 seconds. I mean, that's what the Second Amendment's for. Absolutely. Stay there. I'm going to come back to you. I want you to be able to finish up, James. And then Steve, Mac, Johnny, James, Mac's next, but finish up, James. Steve disagrees in New Jersey, thinks the riots are necessary. We'll get to you. We'll get to everybody. And I want to continue to hear from folks that disagree. Then we'll open the phones up for everybody, 800-259-9231. I'll try to cycle through more of these a little bit quicker. Coming up, stay with us, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv, Real Alex Jones on Twitter. This just broke at Infowars.com. Obama just gave a speech. I just took an action to change the law. See, saying he doesn't need Congress to make the laws. Obama made the admission after getting heckled for several minutes by immigration protesters. But they're there to act like he's not doing enough to give him political cover. They're like, we want everything free and everyone to come here and everything, and pilgrims go home. And Obama's like, hey, I just took action to legalize y'all. We got that clip coming up. Briefly, and then we're going back to your phone calls. We are giving back, but when you still purchase the products, you're giving back to help fund the whole operation. This is the biggest specials we've ever offered, a different special every day. Today's special is 20% off and free shipping of the Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver, super high quality. It's already the lowest price out there, the highest quality. We will have specials today, tomorrow, and Friday on key InfoWars Life products and InfoWars gear. Starts today with the sold-out Silver Bullet, now back in stock. We can sell this limited amount for full price, but we are giving back to listeners and slashing it 20% and giving free shipping. That's like a $6 value. Listeners can now try InfoWars Life products like Silver Bullet, just the free shipping is, to prepare for the most dangerous season of the year when it comes to health. And even with all these discounts, you're still supporting the InfoWar to keep us going for another 20 years. 20% off all silver and free shipping. Super Prep Pack, Silver Bullet, and Survival Shield. 15% off combo sale. And buy 4, get 1 silver free and 20% off. InfoWarsLife.com. And let me expand on that. We sold out, like I told you, of the vitamin B12 Secret 12. I mean, I wish we would have produced enough. It was the hottest seller ever. It's very proprietary, very special. It's why it's Secret 12. Maybe next year until we get more in. Probably could be like February, maybe, it looks like. So believe me, when we say you need to move on something, we would sell out of the Silver Bullet in a couple days already. We're trying to get an emergency production on it. I thought it'd be sold out by next week. This will sell out in a couple days. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. And your purchase of these amazing supplements helps fund our operation. We just got more Molon Labe of the new design, 500 of them in, of the new belt buckles that fund the operation. And people say, what's that belt buckle mean? That's really cool. You can explain the Second Amendment to them. It's a great way to find friends and, out there, like-minded folks. Wear your colors proud and loud, no matter what color you are. InfoWars Life.com, InfoWarsStore.com, Made-in-1776.com. We've got a minute and a half to break. We'll finish up with James, then go to Mac, Steve, Johnny, James, and others. James in Missouri, listening on KCXL, 102.9 FM. Finish up your point.
Yeah, I just want to say that, I mean, maybe it's past the point of no return, but we all need to organize, and it has to start on a small family level. We need to get the families back, and maybe some neighborhood watch, and just go from there. Black, white, brown, yellow, it doesn't matter. We need to come together, but we got a lot of resistance against us.
Well, we're going to try to get Stewart Rhodes of Oath Keepers on tonight. We'll probably get the article, copy their article, mirror it for Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. But Oath Keepers is calling for Oath Keepers to go and protect the businesses. And, I mean, that's what it comes down to. Look, that's why this only happens in poor neighborhoods, because the police stand down, and then the poor, desperate people are fed on by thugs that just want to rob stuff. And then they're so mad, they're like, yeah. And it's just so sad, the desperation. I'm surprised by how many folks out there, it's a minority of people, but there's white folks I know that are like, go ahead and burn it. Yeah, the government's bad. People are that mad, to randomly shoot cops. I mean, you're going to walk up and see their face and shoot them? I mean, you get due process, folks. We don't want to start a civil war here. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Me to the hospital, but just for every good, there's like 10 times more bad things.
Sir, but you're missing what I'm saying. Obviously, if the town's 70% black, and there's 3 police officers out of 50-something that are black, I mean, it should be at least half the folks should be black. The problem is they have trouble recruiting, and the police departments admit that. Is there problems? Are the police being trained to be paramilitary? Did they shoot Joe Biggs with rubber bullets for no reason? Absolutely. And so what we're getting at here is there's obviously something wrong in Ferguson, but then you can't. Let's go ahead now and go to the phone calls. See the full video unedited. The only editing in there is cutting out the cuss words. And there's no way to do it in a crowd like that. You can cut the clear ones out, but obviously back in the background, there's a cacophony of stuff coming out. But let's go to Jason in Ferguson and Steve, Mac, Dave, James, and others. Okay, you disagree on some points. Go ahead, Jason.
Yes. First and foremost, I want to say that I have mad respect for Jakari. I always looked up to him. Glad you got him on your crew. But, I mean, I've lived in Ferguson for a while. I mean, I briefly just moved out before everything started happening. But, man, I've been harassed by Ferguson. I mean, they've towed my car. They've broken my windows. I went to protest at the courthouse, and I've gotten followed by, intimidated by police. I mean, the reality here, Alex, the reason why people are so now. First,
give cover. I'm not saying you're doing this, but those demonstrating to people shooting at the fire department because there might be some profiling and harassment going on. And yes, do they take, because there's thug life stuff going on by a minority of people in the black community, do they then project that onto all black people? Absolutely. But I mean, I watch behavior. And if a black guy or a white guy is dressed nice, they get left alone by police. The few times I've been raggedy when I was younger and doing something, I've had the police pull over and harass me. And it makes you really mad.
Foremost, I do not condone any type of violence. No. And I'm in an interrelationship marriage right now, so it's pretty hard right now living here dealing with this because, I mean, we have to look at both sides. But the reality is the reason why you see this is there is predatory police. They have no respect. Not all of them, because I've been helped by Ferguson police as well when my girlfriend was pregnant at the time and I was rushing to the hospital. One guy pulled me over, but he